This DIY, we are going to make Georgie a scarecrow pumpkin with a burlap hat. As you can see, this is a whimsical scarecrow, and we're going to do every bit of it. We're going to make the pumpkin and the hat and the flower. So stay tuned, because we're fixing to start this DIY. Join me. Print your pattern that will be posted on the website on the blog page. Here's the link, and it'll be down below. Here are the parts that you'll have, and you'll only need one center part for this pattern. If you have the option, do stitch it together or sew it or glue it. If you watch television, you could sit down and sew these panels together really easy, but if you have the option to, machine sew it. Next, after you sew your panels together, turn it inside out, and you're ready to begin stuffing it. Once you stuff it, on the panels, you'll close up the top panels and then hand stitch the center. Then stuff and stitch the top. This is what it will end up looking like. You will not need the second circle. It won't be necessary because we're putting a hat upon it. In the burlap pattern, I'm going to do with you the top of it. So you will need 2 pieces of burlap. For the hat part, you're going to cut an 8 by 13 inch piece. For the brim part, you will cut a piece 4 inches by 13. We need to make some preps here. Fold it in half to find your center seam and press that down into the center and flip it over. Now take a black magic marker and draw a concavement into the sides just as I'm demonstrating here. This will make this unique shape to our burlap hat. We're going to take one of the pieces of twine that came out of our burlap, and using these dowel pins you can find at Walmart or Hobby Lobby, go ahead and thread one through it. We're going to sew the top and the side together on this hat piece. And just use a basting stitch. Stay a 1/2 inch away from the side and run it along the side. This will ensure that it doesn't ravel anymore, and it's going to stay together at the seams as we desire. Once you get to the top of that, make sure you go down to the bottom and tie your burlap thread on real good. This will ensure it doesn't come loose. Now we're going to go across the top edge. Now what you'll need to do once you complete the side and the top, before you turn it inside out, you're going to also do the same thing along those drawn markings to make that nice contour shape for our burlap hat. And it comes together really well. Just make sure that once you close it up, you go back and do those concavements before you turn it inside out. You will then stuff it and attach your brim. So you'll run a basting stitch in your brim edging, attach it to your hat, and stuff it with polyfil. And voila, you will have your hat put together. Then you can start with the next part. So happy with the burlap hat. Now I have gone around the edges of my burlap with regular Elmer's glue. This just works as a fray check to keep the burlap from fraying anymore. And it's still drying. Go ahead and take my needle and thread, and I'm going to sew my burlap hat down to the pumpkin. Now on this fabric pumpkin, I've gotten different panels here, and I'm going to just pick one of the orange ones so that I can put the face on it. And with this particular fabric, it is kind of a felt. Now this is my favorite side of the hat. I like having this riveted edge area where I had to pin the pieces together. I like that, and I want it to be shown. And mine has a natural pitch here from where I stitched it together, so that's going to show up real good. That's going to look really, really neat on his face, showing on this side. So that's where I'm going to sew mine down, and I'll do the face on it. So I'm going to go ahead and center that and stitch it down rather than just gluing it, because I already have my polyfil in there. And this just take me a moment. I just have a knot in my thread here, and I'm not so worried that it's green. That's not a big deal. And I'm just going to go up under and through and go all the way around and get that hat pinned down to my pumpkin. And it's just an in and out. It doesn't have to be perfect on this, just as long as it's tied down to the pumpkin. Let's make a flower to go atop or about our burlap hat for our hatted pumpkin. I've cut 6 circles that are 4¼ inches in diameter. And basically I'm just going to use a running stitch to gather them. And what's really neat is just take and double you up a thread, put you a knot in it with your needle. Now, the way we're going to do this, we're going to take approximately 5 of these circles, and we're going to first fold them in half because we're making a petal flower. Then you'll take that half and fold it in half again. When you do this, you're going to put a running stitch into the folded side over here, the raw edge side. Come up just an 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch. It doesn't have to be real far, just that small area. And whenever you do this, you're just going to do a basic running stitch. You just go every little bit there, go through all of the fabric. And we're going to be drawing this up just like that, and that's going to make a petal. And we'll be connecting these, so you want to do the same thing. You want to fold your fabric in half, take that half and fold it in half, and do the same thing. Go right through there, and you're going to start at one end and do your running stitch, basting stitch, pull that through, and it's going to be right next to the next petal. And it only takes a second to go through there. It takes longer to explain it than it does to do it. That's the truth. Out the other, and when you do, you're going to gather that up. And again, it's going to make you another petal. And you'll do 5 just like that. Now when you get to your 5th petal and you pulled it up, you want to attach it to that very first one. Now to make sure it stays drawn up, you might want to hold to it. And you can put you an extra stitch in there if you felt like you needed to, just to keep it drawn up. But by the time you go over here and connect it to this one, it's not going to be that big a deal. So when you go to connect it to this one, go in to the side, just that one little area, just that very first fold on it, and connect it. It makes it look better if you do it that way. And once you've done that and you've drawn it up really good and snug, you got to hold to it just a minute. And now you're going to go over and catch the first fold of the previous one and make sure you draw it up real good. And that will hold to that. Now you need to run it back down. So put you a stitch or so there to hold to it. Looks like a star flower. It's just so cute. Now to do your center for your 5-petal flower, you're going to take and cut you a circle of about 2½ inches in diameter to make you a fabric yo-yo. And this just takes a moment to do because it's really just about the size of a button. And you can do that too. You could actually use a button on the center of this if you didn't want to make a fabric yo-yo. So I'm just rough cutting a circle here. And best way is just to kind of put you a knot into your thread so that when you go around it, so you have a bit of a tail, it makes it easier to pull it out and tie it off. You're going to do a running stitch. And this really does just take a second. Stay about 1/8 of an inch inside of that circle so that when it's pulled up, it will flip the raw edge under for you. It's just a natural thing that happens whenever you pull it up. So once again, just going around there really quick. You can go in and out of that fabric in just a jiffy when you're going that close to the edge. So you got this tail coming out where you started, and this one. And just pull it up, taut, and we're going to tug that in. As you can see, the raw edge flips over for you kind of naturally. And this is going to be the center of the flower. You just press it out a little bit, just pull it up a little bit, taunt. And you can do this either way. You can make this the side that you want to see, or you can do the opposite side, the smooth side. So I'll put it against it and see which one I like. You can do that one, or you can flip it over and do that one. So you just have to decide. It's just a personal preference. Now at this point, I'm just going to take my tail and my thread and tie a knot. It only takes a second to do these. Now you're done. Got your little yo-yo made. And you just want to press on it and style it and shape it. Get it all fixed up. Make sure you cut off your thread tails. Now, you want to either glue that or stitch it down. I think I'm going to sew mine on. So we have our hat attached, and that is looking really spiffy, and it's centered where I want it. I have this neat little pitch going there. I love that. And I've got my flower made with my center sewn on. Now I can simply attach that, and I want to place it here where this rigid area is, and I kind of want my little star flower to not be front and center, but I really want it in the front. So I'm going to put a small amount of glue, and I mean that way it doesn't have to have a lot because it's going on burlap. It's going to pretty much stay wherever you put it as soon as the glue cools off, and it will be permanently there, not go anywhere, because the burlap is a fiber, so anything you put on it or against it is going to stick. Now we need to work on his face, and I have this beautiful whimsical face that I want to copy from my inspiration piece. So I'm going to truly work on that with using my paint markers. And I'm probably going to try to use red for the nose, simply because I think the red will show up versus a orange per se. And then of course I have white and black. So we're going to do his eyes first. And you just want to kind of do the peace sign. And the peace sign helps you to decide how far a distance the eyes will be set out. And then from there, the peace sign to the nose in the center between the eyes. And that's our next focus. So for the eyes, I feel like this is about where they're going to be. And what I will do is basically put me a dot in those two spots. And I know they're across from each other. That way I can keep my eyes. And I'm going to make these oval as best I can. And this is a fleece fabric. So the marker is going to, of course, want to stick to that fleece. And I'm going to try to make them the same size. And I want that oval shape going to them. Now I've got the outline of the eyes. And sometimes you can use a template or a piece of paper, whatever you feel you need to do. And the one that I'm going by, the inspiration, he's looking kind of to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and color that black in just on one side. And the same over here, I'm going to color that in. And hopefully the white will fix the rest of it. And if it doesn't, then I'll just have to cover it up with some fabric. Now I can make an outline of his nose and then kind of color it in. And it's just a triangle. Just a little triangle, or think of corn candy whenever you make your little triangle. It's kind of rounded, but it's more of a broad. And then for his eyebrows, just make a little mark. And so far that's looking pretty good. He has this really charming, adorable little smile. And you can make it crooked or you can make it up down. Think of the eyes, the width of the eyes are just beyond. So maybe create a mark to draw to. And I'm just doing an angle on those. And then once you make that line, be continuous with it as best you can. So you can kind of come out and maybe down and then up. And you can put the stitches on there if you wanted to, but I think I'm going to leave mine really, really whimsical. So far so good. That's looking pretty good. I'll see if I can get this nose colored in. believe it or not, that is red, and it just doesn't do very well with this particular pen. It's making his nose kind of pink, but the idea is we can distinctly tell it's his nose. Sometimes you just have to run with what you got. And I do go over top of the black with this particular pen. As you see, it will help it to set in so it doesn't seem so outlined. That looks pretty good for the nose. Now let's work on the eyes. I have this white. I don't know how dependable it's going to be. We'll certainly give it a good run. And right here in this area that I left blank is where I want that white to be, on that outside there. And so far so good. Now, on this side of the black, we're just going to make a little dash. Same over here, just a little dash, just to put some light in his eyes. Now, I used the black marker to make his little lines down here in his eyelashes. I'm going to try it because we've used the paint markers, and to kind of give his eyes a little more to them, I want to kind of make a line, just a round line out like this. This is kind of his eyelashes, as though he's squinting. I don't know how well they're going to show up. And then on this side the same way, kind of down, and then this one kind of down, just like he's cheeks, like he's smiling with his eyes, and then some little lashes going out here. It's just hard to get it to show up on the fleece. And then put some stitches on the outside of his nose, and that's just little black marks going around. And I'm not quite content with his smile, so I'm going to put some curves on the edges. That way it looks like he's smiling, because I want him happy. Now he looks more happy, and that's about the best we're going to get him for me because of the fleece fabric. And that looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. It looks alright considering that it's on fleece, and it's about the best we're going to get. Add the finishing touches because he looks so handsome and whimsical. I think I will name this one Georgie. And so with Georgie or Georgette, it could even pass for Georgette. So cute. Our scarecrow faced pumpkin with his burlap hat. And I've gotten me some homespun here and a few cotton pieces. I'm going to create a patch here at the top of his hat, or close to the top of his hat. So I'm just going to take and pull this so that it has that torn, tattered look. Oh, look at that. We got strings too. Love it. Love it. Might be too many there. So we're going to put the patch up here. And I'm going to accompany it with this little one right here. I'm going to take and fray it out a bit and get it kind of looking a little ragtagged patch. I just take my scissors to it a lot of times, pull at it, gets that tattered look on the edge. Okay, so we got our two little pieces here for our patch, and it really just takes a dash of hot melt glue on there to get that stuck into place. I just love the fray. And then usually just a little bit shy on the distance there, just below where that one is. Just need enough to get it to adhere to the burlap. Nothing heavy or lots. That way we don't disturb a nice fray going there. That just looks so darling. Love it. He just looks so handsome. Now I want to take and put some raffia right here by the inspiration piece. So I had some that had pulled loose, and I just kind of stick them over here on my table. And all I'm going to do is fold these in half and make them real short. And just that little bottom piece right there, I can take and glue it here. And you're going to do it about this area right here. Now remember, if you would rather purchase than to make, check the website here on the screen, and I will also put the link in the description box down below, dandylionssoap.com/shop for these particular items that I'm working on, like him, for example. Okay, now that will take care of that part for the raffia. I will let that glue set, and then I will clip the loops. I also have me some Sweet Annie. This stuff, oh, smells so delightful. And I have this really pretty piece right here that will look just wonderful right there with all of that raffia. And I mean, just the smallest amount to glue that on. That raffia is going to help it as well. And then maybe another little piece going in the opposite direction. I'm going to snip it here and double it up. Might actually be enough glue already there. And that is looking pretty snazzy. I've clipped back all of the raffia there and, took the bends out of it, fluffed it out, added more Sweet Annie. And I'm going to take this tall piece and I'm going to place it back here behind the flower. And I just think that would just be perfect. It's just the right size to do something like that with. And I just thought, let me add that on there. I think that'll really truly finish it off. If you've enjoyed this video and you like these DIYs that I'm presenting, I'd sure like it if you would give me a thumbs up. That lets me know that you're truly enjoying it, and it lets YouTube know that you enjoyed it as well. And they'll share more of the like with you. Additionally, share this video with someone that enjoys DIYs and you think would benefit from this video. Leave comments, suggestions, and anything that you like, helping others to learn and know how to do DIYs and shortcuts that can be of assistance to them. And if there's something you would like for me to do here on the channel, by all means, share it in the comments. Also on the community tab, and let me know. You can also join over on the Facebook and come over. You'll see things over there that may not be presented here on the YouTube channel, and give you some other ideas that you can do DIY wise, inspirations from other creators. And trust me, they're some awesome creators. You guys are the best DIY team ever. Now that's looking fantastic and just making it look even better more and more I do to it. And the Sweet Annie, that looks really appropriate growing up behind that flower there. Just absolutely adorable. Now, as I was talking about, I'm going to take my Tim Holtz Distressing Ink, the vintage photo, along with the blender brush, and you've seen me using these. These are wonderful and just age up this burlap. Real gentle, not like a terrible amount. You can also use black or brown to do the same thing. And as you can see, I'm just hitting various spots about the burlap. I'm not trying to put a large focus. I want to look aged. I added a patch back here, and also my patch that has my name and information and trademark. I'll also sign my piece, write my name on it, and put a date there, or a year rather. A lot of times I just put a year in my name, but I want to show you what I was doing so that this might concern you if you have some real new burlap and it just looks so bright and new. And I a lot of times like to coffee stain my burlap. So you're just seeing me age it up and dirty it a bit, basically, is what I'm doing. I'm dirtying the burlap and just letting that blender brush hit the different spots and help age it. Even though the flower is real new looking, it just helps it. It makes a huge difference. And you can just see the transformation before your eyes, how much it changes it. It just truly gives it depth and just makes a huge difference. Because most of our scarecrows aren't wearing new clothes. They're wearing worn clothes to hit in there. You will find links to all the items you see me use, the ink pad, the blender brushes, and also the crows. I have these crows ready-made. If you'd like to purchase them, I'm going to use one on Georgie here, and I've already cut the claws off the bottom so that I can place it there with some glue, and that will help that a great deal. And if you wanted to age the pumpkin itself, you could definitely do that. I'd say just what I've got on the blender brush might be sufficient for that. Sweet Anne is just a delight. I do have an affiliate link for the Sweet Annie from an Etsy seller, and I will be glad to share my link with you. You will really enjoy working with them, and the price is absolutely the best price I have seen and the most reasonable, and you get lots and lots of pieces that's basically break-offs from the larger bundles that they sell when they harvest it, and it's just the perfect size for what we do. It is the perfect size for the crafting. It really is, and you get a box full. So that is our Georgie looking spiffy, and I'll add the Scarecrow again. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. We would love to have you on the DIY team. I would truly, truly enjoy it. I have the best DIY members on my team, and I absolutely love and adore each and every one of them. They give great input. They have taught others with their advice and suggestions and comments on what they do when they make their crafts and so forth. And they're just wonderful. They've been a great benefit to me, and I've loved and adored every one of them and their suggestions. And I thank you so much for being a part of my team and supporting me by watching my channel. I really appreciate it. And anyone who's made any donations to my channel, I appreciate that. Thank you so, so much. It helps me continue producing these videos and making DIYs. It really is a big help. It helps me so much. I can buy supplies and keep going. Keep the lights on, so to speak. If you enjoyed this video, share it with someone you know who likes DIYs. And until the next DIY, well, I'll be crafting y'all. Now, Georgie is looking absolutely stunning with his little crow accompanying him and his star flower that we completed. We've dingied up the cap, and we've made this thing from scratch, start to finish. Each panel of the pumpkin, all the way up to the burlap hat. I know you're going to enjoy having this around throughout your autumn season on in through Thanksgiving. And with the whimsical, beautiful face, you can see how charming it's going to be to keep this one out, even if you enjoy primitives. Thank you so much for coming along. Until the next DIY, this is Elizabeth, and I'll be crafting y'all.